Hi, everyone. Welcome to the LFW Network. My name is Lorraine Galvis, and this is my podcast channel. I am here today to celebrate Valentine's Day with you just a little bit. As you can see, I have my cool, fun sweater for Valentine's Day, and I am definitely looking forward to spending some time with my family and friends later today to just appreciate them and be grateful for having them in my life. I'm sure my husband has some fun dinner plans for me and my son, so I'm really looking forward to that. But, often on Valentine's Day, the focus is on our personal relationships. And as business owners, I am a solo business owner, and I also am an attorney who works with and represents other entrepreneurs, small business owners, established business owners, emerging business owners. Our clients are at different stages of their business. And so one of the things my clients and I talk about a lot is how to have those difficult conversations with partners in their business, with vendors in their business, with service providers. It's not easy to tell someone in a relationship when you're not happy. And many of my clients forget that owning a business is also a relationship. Having business partners is also a relationship. And if we don't take care of those relationships, if we don't take stock of them and invest time into them and work, when we come to work every day and we see our partners or we're working remotely and we're maintaining communication and we're trying to run a company with their help, there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of different dynamics around those relationships, but they often get ignored. And I think it's very difficult, not just for my clients, but for business owners like myself, to have those difficult conversations with our partners because we don't want to make them upset. We don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't want to make them feel as if we don't appreciate them. And we simply are afraid of what their reaction is going to be when we tell them that we are not happy or not on the same page or think differently about a particular aspect of our business, whether it's operations, marketing, staffing, products, services. There's so much that goes into our business. So the people that we work with to run that business, that the people that own that business with us, it's very important for us to take care of those relationships. So I wanted to take a moment today on Valentine's Day to just remind you, if you are watching this video and you're also an entrepreneur or small business owner like I am, take a moment to check in with your business relationships. And also, this extends a little beyond relationships, but many of you have formed an entity and have done nothing with it. So when I say that, I mean maybe you registered an LLC at some point, or you registered or formed an S Corp or a corporation, and that was a year ago or maybe a couple of years ago, and you haven't really taken any steps beyond that. So depending on what state you're in, there might be certain documents that need to be filed. You might have an annual or biannual filing that could be due in your state. If you have moved from one state to another state and you're still operating your business, you might still have to file what we call a foreign authorization, which essentially gives you the legal right to operate your business from your new home state. So if you're originally from New York, like I am, but you moved to Connecticut like I did, one of the first things I did was file paperwork with the Department of State here in Connecticut to register as a foreign LLC, what we refer to as a foreign authorization. So if you haven't done those things and those are still kind of on your to-do list for legal things, get that done. Today is a great day to go online, figure out how to do that. If you're not sure how to do that, you are more than welcome to reach out to us and we can hopefully provide some guidance. And the other side of this is if you've already formed an LLC, for example, or you've already formed this corporation, whether it's a C Corp or an S Corp, you may or may not have an operating agreement or some kind of document that sets out what your relationship is going to be to the other people in your company. So if you are a single member LLC like I am, I have an operating agreement, and it's basically an agreement, a contract between me and my entity. And that contract says that I agree to run my business, to operate it as best I can, and also to put the interests of my business above my own. So I have a certain duty of care to my business, and that's in writing. And I literally sign it as myself, and I sign it as a business owner. So if you don't have an operating agreement or a shareholders agreement or any other what we call operative document for your legal entity, you should definitely get that done. And I don't see why why today wouldn't be a great day to either get that started or get information on what you need to get that process started. The last thing I want to talk about is any partnership agreements or any agreements that you have with partners in your company or contractors in your company or service providers. Let's start with partners. If you have a partnership with someone and you don't have a document outlining what that partnership is about, how you get paid, what your role is, what their role is, what happens if we want to break up, how do we break up the company, who owns our trademarks, who owns our lease, who owns our assets, what do we do with it if we decide we don't want to do this anymore? Now, in general, the answer to some of those questions is, well, the company owns all of that stuff. But if you're breaking up, or if you decide that you don't want to be in business with this person anymore, this document can set out some rules for how to break up. So if you think about your operative document, whether it's an operating agreement or a shareholders agreement, as your prenup, or essentially your postnup, because most people are signing them after they formed an entity, consider it a prenup or postnup for your business. You and any business partners are deciding how your company is going to be run. And in the event that you have to break up, what are the rules? How do we do that? So that if that moment comes, it's not so stressful because you've already outlined a potential plan. And actually, it's not a potential plan, it's an actual plan because it's a signed contract between you and your partners for your company, with your company. So that is really important for those of you who are in partnerships. Now, if you are like most of my clients, some of you have difficulty having these very uncomfortable conversations with your partners. So on a day like today, on a day like Valentine's Day, think about what the right approach might be to speak to a partner with whom you anticipate the conversation could be a bit uncomfortable. Some tactical advice: write some thoughts down on paper. Do not schedule coffee or dinner or a meeting and not be prepared. This is your business and these are your business partners. So give them the courtesy and respect of preparing for that meeting. Get a legal pad, get your journal, anything. Here's my son's beautiful artwork. Get a pen, get a piece of paper, and write down some of the things that have been on your mind during this partnership, some of the things that have been on your mind during your working with this person, being partnered with this person. You know, maybe some of your ideas, maybe some of the goals that you had have changed over time. Maybe some of the plans you had for the business are not yet here, have not yet manifested, or you haven't been able to accomplish them. What are the reasons for that? Is it genuinely a legitimate reason for which it can't be done? Or have your plans changed? Has your relationship with your business partners changed? Maybe you were anticipating making a certain amount of money or having a certain level of success and you haven't achieved that yet. Maybe you need to be talking about putting together a business plan. Maybe you plan to do that and you never got around to it. So maybe a business plan or a meeting where you can say, hey, we've been in business for about a year. We always said we were going to do this and we never did. how do you feel about meeting and putting some ideas together for our business plan? Because I really love what we're doing here, but sometimes I feel like we're not on the same page, or sometimes communication can be a bit challenging. How do you feel about having a meeting or setting up lunch? And by the way, you guys, it's a business meeting, so it's all deductible. Um, Pick a nice place, take your partner out for Valentine's Day lunch, and be prepared. Make it a productive lunch, make it a productive meeting, and write down all of those things that have been on your mind. Also, you might want to give your partner a heads up that you'd like to use this kind of meeting as a fun lunch, but also as an opportunity to maybe talk about some of the things that have been on your mind and that you'd like to talk with them about regarding the business. So give them a heads up and let them know, hey, I may, bring a notebook. I thought it might be, productive to, maybe write some things down, or bring a couple of pens and papers, bring a couple of pads, bring a couple of markers. And, when the time comes to have the conversation, just say, hey, if you want to jot some things down, here you go. Why am I spending so much time talking about this process? It's because when my clients call me and they are upset or they are not happy with how things are going, you would be surprised how much time goes into their thinking about, how do I even bring this up? It's the same thing in a relationship that's not really working out the way that we hoped it would, right? In a romantic relationship, I hope they break up with me so I don't have to break up with them. Or I hope that we don't have to have this difficult conversation about me not being happy, or I'm not happy, or they're not happy. So it's very similar in business. A lot of us, our success and a lot of our ability to get things done is in how we approach those things, how we talk to other people, the preparations that we make, the respect that we show when we are approaching these very difficult conversations or these uncomfortable conversations. It is never fun for me to have to tell a contractor or a service provider, hey, I paid for this service and this is not meeting my expectations. Or I know that we've been paying you this amount for years, but unfortunately, this is just not meeting our needs anymore. And I think we're going to have to look elsewhere unless you think that you can do better. And I always like to give the opportunity to people to do better, but it really, really just depends on the situation and on the relationship. Sometimes it's worth it, and then other times it's not. And you as a business owner have to be able to discern that. You have to be able to take stock of your company and figure out what is the best solution for the company and what you have to do in order to make sure that your communications with your partners, with your service providers, with your contractors, with your employees is in a productive place. So that is everything I have to say today on Valentine's Day about that. I want to apologize for the noise. I am in New London, and it is, somewhat of a busy city at different points of the day. So you will hear some traffic out there. But anyway, back to relationships and business relationships. So we've covered meeting with partners and service providers, not meeting with service providers or vendors. You can probably just call them or, have a Zoom video meeting with them, have them look at your systems and see if they still make sense for your business. But with any partners in the business, any co-owners, set aside a time to meet, plan a meeting in advance, let them know that you want to meet with them for Valentine's Day or just for a fun lunch, but also let them know that you want to talk about some things that have been on your mind regarding the business, and you'd like to, get their feedback and get their, feelings and position on that too. 3, write everything down. Get a pen, get a paper, write it in your phone, on your notes app, or wherever makes sense for you. Come to the meeting prepared and give a heads up to the people that you're going to meet with that they should also be prepared to A, listen to you, and B, hopefully have some feedback that can help you move from point A to point B in a productive way. Now, the last thing I want to talk about for Valentine's Day is, we have a couple of options. Something that I did this year was have a call or video with my service providers. So part of your job as a business owner is to make sure that you are making good use of any revenues and any investments in your company. And what does that mean? You want to always make sure that you are getting quality services at the best available price. So insurance providers, any online service providers, whether it's for clouds or email service or marketing services, whatever it is, coffee services, paper, your rent, anything that pertains to your business, your accountants, your lawyer, any services that you're using to run your business. Today could be a good day to just check in with them and say, hey, are there any invoices due? How are we looking for this next project that we're going to work on? Or, we've been using your services for a while, but we do see some changes in our company, and we're wondering if you're the right vendor, if you're the right service provider for us to stick to in this kind of new phase of growing our company. Another thing you might want to check, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, check all your trademark registrations. If you don't have any trademark registrations, do you have trademarks? Are you using marks in the public sector, in commerce, on Amazon, on any public platform to identify yourself in the marketplace or to identify your goods and services? If you are, you probably have a service mark or a trademark, but in order to confirm that, you might want to speak to an attorney. So as you know, we are trademark attorneys, and if you have any questions about that or how to register a mark that you are using or have been using for a while, feel free to email us, info@galvesandcompany.com. You can also call us at 212-996-5061. We also have a Connecticut office now, so you can also reach us there at 860-748-7717. All of these numbers and contact information will be in the show notes, so please check those out. And another housekeeping item could be, again, we mentioned biannual filings or annual filings for your corporate entity. So whether that's an S Corp, a C Corp, an LLC, whatever annual filing pertains to your business, make sure you're up to date with those. Make sure that you are up to date with your Corporate Transparency Act filing. Now, this was a new regulation that began January 1st of 2024, and it is a requirement for most privately held companies. So if you're like me and you're a single member LLC or an S Corp or any other private business formation, you control or own more than 25% of the business, more than likely you will have to make this filing according to the Corporate Transparency Act. Now, this is a new requirement, and failure to file it has penalties, which include $500 a day fine for every day that you don't do it, and even imprisonment. I'm hearing 2 years to 5 years, so definitely something that I don't even want to risk, which is why I already did my CTA filing. So if you have questions about that or you have not done that, you can also visit our website, galvesandcompany.com. Click on practice areas, and once you're on practice areas, click where it says business registrations and formations. Once you click on that, there will be a button that says, have you filed your CTA form, or would you like our help doing so? When you click on that form, it will walk you through an online intake form, very short. There will be a fee at the end, and once you enter it, we will call you to make an appointment to file your CTA filing. So pretty much in a nutshell, let's see if there's anything else I haven't touched. At the end of the day, Valentine's Day, it's a wonderful holiday. It's probably more of a commercial holiday. For those of you who are Catholic or Christian, it's also Ash Wednesday. So hopefully you're getting your ashes. I'm getting mine later today at Mass at 6:30. But Valentine's Day is just another day that we can really use to remind ourselves of relationships that are important, whether they be personal or business. But more importantly, your relationship as an entrepreneur to your business. Your loyalty should always be to your business, and everything you do on a day-to-day basis should be to uplift that business. And whenever that becomes difficult, ask for help. Ask your lawyers, ask your accountants, ask your service providers, ask your family, your friends, your contractors, your employees. But use this Valentine's Day to take stock of your relationships and to just take note of where things are and have those very important conversations with the people who hopefully love your business and love you and are there to support you and also your business endeavors. If you have any questions, my name is Lorraine Galvis. I'm a business and trademark attorney based out of New York and Connecticut. If you have any questions about what I said in this video, please reach out to us directly, info@galvisandcompany.com, or our phone numbers, which will be in the show notes, 212-996-5061 or 860-748-7717. You can also comment on this video. We would love to get your feedback and find out if this video was helpful. And also remember that what I'm saying on this video is for educational purposes only. This is not legal advice, and you who are watching are not my client. Please, if you have any questions about what I said in this video, reach out to us directly. Happy Valentine's Day. Be safe. Take care and see you on the next video.